Good morning, everyone. I'm glad you could join me for this last minute discussion, which won't take long. Good morning, Thor, Arctic, Scorpio, Megan, Chopper, Ava, Gary, Penny, Jill. Now, today is good morning, Angel. Anybody I missed? Cece, it's been a while. It's good to see you. Now, this will absolutely just be speculation, right? Because we don't have any facts to this. We won't get any facts to this because it is an alleged CPS report. But this has come up several times now. Hey, Naomi, Queen Bella, Katie B, Girl Next Door. I feel like we have heard this allegation or this rumor, speculation, whatever you want to name it. We've heard it several times now, right? And at this point, if even well, I won't say that, but JLR is now tweeting about it. So JLR writes, sources tell me Katie Proudfoot made a DCS, which is Department of Children's Services, complaint against Seth Rogers weeks before Sebastian Rogers went missing. Hey, loudmouth. Now, again, we don't know if this is true, but what we do know is that Seth did not see Sebastian for a couple weeks up until he disappeared, right? We do know that. I mean, that is something we know as fact. Goes on to say, if true, Seth has been hiding that info from everyone. Hey, Wah. Possible Sebastian either ran away or Katie did something bad to him to prevent him from going to Seth. Now, that I disagree with because that makes no sense. If she cared enough to make a report, she's not going to make him disappear, do something bad to him. Maybe she would make him disappear, but not something bad to him. Thank you, Money Moves. Hi, Titanium. I believe Seth said 6 weeks beforehand. Right. 6 weeks. Which would make sense. Now, we all know that there was an alleged CPS report. Chopper. Hey, Lacey Ann. We know that there was an alleged report in that home for January, right? Which would be 6 weeks up the difference in the time. Now, again, I don't know if it's true. So spare yourself, BJ, because we are purely saying we don't know if it's true, which leads me to my next thing. Now, I seen somebody say they hope I address it. I will be addressing it, but that's going to be a whole different thing. Hey, Grouchy Mama, it's good to see you. Solo, Sherry. Stuff from JLR always makes me question. Yeah, I feel like I feel like he's had a lot of good information. Hey, Doodle. I mean, he's somebody who was really anti-Proudfoot's pro Seth, and if he's having this kind of change of heart, there has to be a reason, right? Katie has legal custodial rights, so she wouldn't need to hide Sebastian from Seth. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe that it was Chris and Seth trying to set up for Sebastian to go live there, not Katie. I think Katie was kind of against it, if I'm correct. Seth said that he would leave Sebastian alone in his house while he went to work, but it has been said that Sebastian has the mentality of a 10-year-old. Right. Why would you leave a child alone that long? Good morning, Scottish. Exactly. And if that's the case, then we know he was playing video games, which means access to the internet. He was, but that arraignment was made between Chris and Seth, right? And that is the only, when you look at these cases, you look at what was happening, right? You look at the calendar, you look at events, you look at school, all those things. The only thing set to change in Sebastian's life was he was set to go live with Seth and begin online school, right? So, did you guys notice I have a quiet mouse? Finally came in. Good morning, Melissa. Good morning, Zen, B, everybody coming in, Straight Talker, Lynisms, Deborah, Mrs. Fletcher, Kathy. I wouldn't trust Seth to take care of a pet rock. I'm wondering if Sebastian is with one of Seth's friends, which would make his statement about, he's playing video games and whatever. That would make sense, right? Good morning, Chica. Miss Liverbird, I didn't see you come in. What mouse it? I sure can tell you. It's just a cheapy one off of Amazon, but give me 1 second. I don't even know how you would pronounce this. We know I'm not good at pronouncing anyway. Thank you so much, Arctic Fox. Hey, Lindsay. Arctic says, I think it's highly likely that Chris and Katie decided it was best to keep Sebastian with them and that Seth lost his mind and knows where Sebastian is. You know what I think is more likely? Again, this is just purely speculation, theory, conspiracy, if you will. I think it is more likely that Chris wanted Sebastian out of the home in case to better his chances of full custody with his daughter. I think he reached out to Seth and said to Seth, I think it'd be better if he comes and stays with you. And I think Seth was probably down with it. I mean, last time he said, let's give him another year, whatever. But it sounds like this time Seth got everything together and he was ready for him to come live with him. And I think Katie, if anything, Katie was against it. And maybe it does go back to Katie. Maybe Katie does know what happened. Or maybe Sebastian knew he was set to go live with his father and he didn't want to. And he didn't want to the point where maybe he overheard Katie and Chris on the phone that night and he got upset. And maybe he just took off and ran out the house and thought, nobody wants me. I don't want to go to live with my father. I don't want to go live on and do online schooling. I can see that just being a possibility that Sebastian left on his own. Quite frankly, we have no idea. That is a possibility as well. That might be why he jumped on. So let me type this in the chat for you. That is. Of course, the keyboard's still loud, right? But that's okay. So I just wanted to jump on and, because, trying to go live every morning. There are other things I want to talk about. Somebody sent this to me. They said they wanted to hear my opinion on it. I don't have much opinion on it. I'm curious if it's true. If it's true, like I said, it kind of goes back to my personal opinion that there is a very good chance that Sebastian just left on his own. Maybe he felt nobody wanted him. He just breathed. Someone would have seen him by now. That's true. But what do you guys think when we go back to the fact that he is stating that there is dash cam footage, right? Let's go back to that. So if they're claiming there's dash cam footage of Sebastian after 26, what does that mean? I'm curious if Seth and Nina were in contact. Ooh, I don't know. That would be the best outcome, wouldn't it, Kat? That would be the best outcome. Maybe they didn't think this would get so big. Maybe they didn't think so many eyes would be on them. Maybe they didn't think it would reach national news level. Many kids' disappearances, unfortunately, don't. Maybe it got bigger than they expected. Seth has threatened himself with his team. It wouldn't surprise me if his personal friends are just as sketchy. You think seeing Chris support Sebastian in his needs would show a court that he's capable and willing to support and raise a child and can do the same for his own child? Just a thought. Right, but if we go back, and I hate to always go back to this because we shouldn't even know it, but if we do go back to the fact of what Seth has told us pertaining to Sebastian and previous traumas and displayments of current behaviors, maybe that was going to be used. Maybe that was going to be held against him. Maybe he was worried for his daughter. Because, and you know what else makes me think this is true? You know what else? Okay, so this is why else I think is true. It was stated that there was a CPS reported to Katie's house, right? While Sebastian was at Seth's. Was it because Katie called on behalf of Sebastian pertaining to him being at his father's? That would make sense. I don't believe Seth had a report. You don't believe it, Stephanie? Maybe he didn't. Who is JLR's inside source, right? Maybe he didn't. I don't know. I would never talk about my child like Seth talks about Sebastian. And you know what, Scorpio Sting? I have never said one disparaging word towards Sebastian at all. I never would. This creature, if you will, that continuously tries to state that I'm saying all these horrible things about Sebastian and I'm putting them down. And they're the same ones that said the same things about the Proudfoots when it just wasn't true. The only person that continuously has a negative undertone when it comes to Sebastian is his own father. It is not me. I'm rather certain if I ever said anything even remotely disparaging towards Sebastian, there's a lot of people in this chat right here that would call my ass out. JLR inside source, you mean JLR? Possibly. You know, who knows? That was actually funny, though. We've heard from SR's neighbors about incidents. Even they could have made a report. Very true. But then Katie calls CPS regarding Seth. Right, Kat. I wish I can get on the runaway theory, but when Ellie get a search warrant, dig up a landfill, yeah. But is that because his scent led that direction, Wood Fairy? Seth said in his first TL interview that Sebastian and Nina's daughter, right, they would FaceTime all the time. They would. Sammy, I'm telling you, I mean, you know, dislike the guy or not, he is usually true, and he does have a lot of eyes on him to put out such misinformation or to just make this up. I don't believe he would just make this up. Does it mean his source is credible? No, but it's not the first time we've heard it. I at this point don't believe anything Seth says without proof. I doubt he ran away, at least without help. What if it's something like he ran out, Lisa, and somebody saw this young vulnerable kid running in this weather and they picked him up to, give him a ride, and they were a dangerous person. That could be, an unfortunate factor. I mean, it could be. That's the thing. There's so many could be's, right? There's just so many could be. It could be this, it could be that. But right now we have no facts that is anything more than a child that walked out that front door. Hey, Kathy, my daughter is 16. She ran away. She was talking to someone on the internet. She was gone for 6 months. Absolutely. If Seth had an attorney, why isn't his attorney being his PR person in these CPS papers, if they exist, are, in my opinion, against Seth? That's why he didn't release any info. Well, I think he didn't release info because it was illegal to release info. He has a cop who told him direct info because they believe JLR is a credible reporter and he has a huge platform. I think the landfill search was done because of the video of the trash truck, maybe to eliminate that he was hit by the trash truck and disposed of. Good point. It's likely due to the fact that the trash ran that night. Sebastian was never seen leaving any cameras. Yeah. There's all these theories that there was a thrown out mattress. Sebastian was within the mattress. All types of ridiculous speculation regarding that. Obviously, there was nothing at the landfill, but there was enough for them to get a warrant to search the landfill. And that could be as simple as the trash trucks being the only vehicle seen. Saying, I doubt he walked out and had a plan on his own. I don't think he had a plan. I don't. I think something was upsetting to him that night. Maybe he had this great weekend with his mom, right? Chris has been out the house. We know Chris was a disciplinary. Maybe he had this fantastic weekend with his mom. Everything was going great. And then they get home, and now it's just the two of them in the house. Maybe Sebastian wanted more of Katie's time, but Katie was on the phone with Chris. Maybe that had Sebastian have resentments about it. Maybe he even overheard them speaking about him going to live with his father. He knew this event was coming. He told them he doesn't want to. He told them he was unhappy with it. Maybe he got him so upset that night just thinking of it. Maybe he felt unloved at that moment. Who knows? But something led to him walking out that door. Just, again, speculation. And early on, we did hear a rumor about Tip that, yes. And while we're at it, I want to play this really quick. One second. Let me get it. I want to play this because do I want to play it though, or do I want to allow? You know what? I'm not going to play it. I am going to say this. There's going to be a stream after this. I'm going to direct you all to. Thank you so much, Chica. Oh, we are so happy to have you. Thank you. Hey, Dollop. I'm going to ask you all, okay? Does anybody recall Trevor Lee being on panel and making a statement pertaining to, well, okay, I have to play that part. Just that part. No, I won't. Pertaining to Sebastian's, I'm like, I'm having an internal fight with me, so I'm trying so hard to ignore this person. Yeah, please, let's get the thumbs up. Let's get them up a little bit. 84 likes out of 470. I believe he did run away out front door because I believe they have inside cameras. That's how they know so adamantly. And Chris Proudfoot interview, that's what I got from him. That would make sense. You know, everybody keeps saying, oh, Katie works for this and she doesn't have cameras. I've been saying, you know, you've heard me say several times, there's a reason why the police at this point do believe he just walked out the door. Rather, that means they have footage that we don't have access to. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. Or maybe it's, you know, maybe there is some type of camera footage that they haven't released to the public. That happens. That just happened in, oh my goodness, what was his case? Riley, right? And Riley, we heard there was one more camera footage. For some reason, we knew the speculation of it before it came out, that there was one more camera he was on the night that he disappeared. And then it came out after the fact that it was off of an officer's body cam. Maybe we're just not being told yet. Maybe they're investigating the rest of it, so they don't want to give out any of it. Well, that's a good point, Luna Girl, which is why I believe his mother believed the same thing. She went and checked the school, right? Seth works in security too in a jail, but he has no cameras either. That's what I'm saying, Loxy. That's the part of JLR's posting I disagree with. You know, does anybody remember a few months back, what was that name? Hey, Father Snuggles. What was the name? Yulvade? The name of the company that made the random weird tweet that they have reason to believe that Sebastian's in one of two of these states going to a school. Does anybody recall that? Yulvade? I don't know. I don't know. I'm having a hard. There we go. You remember that, right? Anybody else remember that? All right, I know I had a screenshot of it before. I don't have it right now. Okay, so I see they did do an update. Let's see what this says. I haven't looked back into this. Have any of you? It kind of was one of those things, like it came out and then it went back away. Nobody really. All right, so the foundation recently announced via various social networking sites, including Twitter X and Facebook. Is that what Twitter is? It called Twitter X now or just called X? That it is ending its various search efforts for missing 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers. Since that announcement, as of this morning, several posts to this effect were removed by our media team members due to inappropriate messages being tagged to those postings. Well, no. Here's another. This is actually sad to see, and I'm sure I played a part in it as well. But them stating here that many have asked why we have ceased our efforts for Sebastian. And it goes on to say because people have gone on to question them and question if they're legitimate, question, you know, accuse them. And it's really sad that all these good professional companies are stepping back. It's actually scary. I hope that doesn't lead to future, you know, reluctancy to join in these missing children searches. Hopefully, briefly, our foundation. So no, this isn't what I was looking for, but I am looking for their tweet, their original tweets that alluded they know where Sebastian Rogers is, that they believe he is in a school out of state. Okay, let's see. Here we go. I found something. That may be nothing. We are now 100% convinced that the family of Sebastian Rogers knows far more than has been revealed publicly. We're also now equally convinced that recent developments indicate answers to be revealed soon. Right? We remember this, right? Then they went on to state, Well, this is ridiculous. For kids, redirect search support to Genoa, Alaska. Threats against Tennessee searchers unfounded. So they were looking into the Alaska. They left. They didn't find them there. So they went into the conspiracies. But there was one where they stated that they believe Sebastian was in a school in certain states. No further update pertaining to that. That's a huge statement. And it kind of was just like, touched but barely. The rug was put on it. It's just very odd here. Hey, Joneson. Right, that's because Seth was pushing that Katie put him in center to hide him. But this professional organization comes out and pretty much confirms that. How do we know it wasn't Seth that put him in a center to hide him? Especially if it's true. Yeah, I was conflicted on it. Sorry, Emmy Joe. So when Trevor Lee was on my panel, he dropped some information pertaining to Sebastian's name. I'll just leave it at that. Does anybody else recall that taking place? Because it is being stated that I fabricated that out of thin air. And it will be touched on in a little bit. I will be, hopefully, if I'm capable of, joining Dee's panel, where a lot of the BS that was told last night, the stealing of thumbnails and all the things will be touched on. You don't remember that, Erica? Just thought it was cute how Tony used pew, 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 pew. Tony's so anything but cute. It's like such a slime man. Some of you remember. All right. I have my doubts on both sides as well, Rachel. Absolutely. He was here for a very long time, Lisa. Yes, he was. Hey, Bluebird. Yes, Gemini. The reason for the middle names. The reason for the middle names. So anyway, I just wanted to touch on the fact that this was stated. Again, I recall somebody just wrote in the chat the other day that when it was brought up about CPS, they stated the one that Sebastian's mother made. Hey, Spicy. I'm very, yes, truth, not feelings. You recall it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm very curious about all of this. It's starting to feel like, it's always felt like, but it's feeling even more like they are intentionally, Seth and Tony are intentionally making everybody look at the Proudfoots and look over here and not look at him. Going off on Trevor, made a whole drawn out point about naming him, and he has my last name. Right. And that's where, when Trevor was over here, we spoke about that. And then he stated, yeah, because Katie was underage. Hey, Lurker. There's a new CPS report against Seth that was made 2 weeks before Sebastian went missing against Seth. That is what we are talking about. So what do you all think about that? Do you think that's true? Do you think that's a reason why Seth hadn't seen Sebastian for so many weeks? Traitors. Welcome from Australia. It's really cool. Welcome. Did Seth or Tony's team start searching this week, like was stated? Well, that's right, Helen. They said they would be starting this week, right? And now we know Nina, she must have got the money up to get her truck fixed and come bring her, I don't know, is Nina coming with the pew pew to be protective services, or is she doing the search and rescue services that she's not qualified to do, nor is she credentialed? Hey, look over there, not at me. Thou do protest too much, right? I know what you're talking about. Yes, it is important, especially because of the report, and that Seth would get naked. Oof. I don't know if I go as far as to say he's that. I won't go as far as to call him a P word. I feel like that is an easy attack to take on men. The allegations were just that. They were allegations, but nonetheless, every bit of information is important. How is Nina? I don't know, but she also gets credit. She also gets credit off of her community service. EquiSearch are gearing up to come back into search. I wonder if there's a reason. for EchoSearch to come back in? Is there, I don't know. You know, I saw TL was saying in a chat last night that she spoke to the detective till 1 a.m. and that she has evidence sitting in her truck. What do you guys think of that? What evidence would be sitting in her truck? If any evidence, I should say. Someone can make a report to CPS at any time. Yeah, I've had people make reports against me. And for people saying like, well, they didn't notify the parents, they didn't this, you know what? You usually don't get notified unless they're going to look into it. Hey, Sandy, it's been a while. It's good to see you. Uh-huh. Yes, Erica. She was in the chat saying that she spoke to the detective until 1 a.m. and that she has evidence sitting in her truck. Thought the evidence was sitting in Seth's truck. I thought the same thing. It's sitting in a truck because they probably didn't believe it was real. Either one of three parents know, or sadly he is gone, or two or three parents know. RA searched the past weekend, 42 bodies of water, and they've already left. Said they would come back if needed. I'm just glad so many of them are still coming, despite the negative publicity they get put under. The fact that Sebastian's out here, now we're at 669. So I'll sorry, both are a bit devilish. But seriously, the fact that all of these professional organizations and even people with some type of professionalism to them, they continuously get trashed out here. I would think so. I mean, they spoke to the detective till 1 a.m. They didn't come to grab the evidence. I don't know. Hey, T. Adams. His daughter was asked about Sebastian's behavior. I hate him repeating what I heard. Oh. Could be. So there's a recording of it? How would there be a recording of that? Evidence that had already been vetted as not part of the investigation, not credible. These people are absolutely ridiculous. They have to be invited by Ellie, said Wayne on call. Well, they do need Ellie's permission. Yes, they should absolutely have law enforcement's permission to search. Luminol will ruin any evidence if found. Degraded evidence sitting in a truck? Just give it to the damn police. Oh. So I guess many of you don't believe about the evidence? Makes you wonder why Seth never mentioned having these things while in Pascal or Justin's. Was that one of Seth's search that the sweatpants were found on? Wait, did you guys see this as well? Let me pull this up. I found this to be interesting. Because I never heard it until All right. Well, this is a whole thing that tells me I can pull it up, but then it's not really pulling up. But anyway, so Dog the Bounty Hunter actually commented on what he believes. Okay, so here's one of them. Let me pull this one up. I personally didn't see or hear this until right now.
The years of investigating, same thing. Usually a family member has done something.
Hey, Kim.
Usually there is a dump ground, a trash dump ground nearby, or a lake.
So let me pause this really quick. So we're to believe that Dog the Bounty Hunter, who is a bounty hunter, has spent years investigating these type of things, and just right away mentions, the dump site and/or body of water. He has no previous knowledge. He just so happens to jump on this conversation about Sebastian Rogers with zero previous knowledge. Okay. So let's rewind it back.
Well, I can only say by the years of investigating, same thing. Usually a family member has done something. You know, usually there is a dump ground, a trash dump ground nearby, or a lake. Lie detector tests don't work. Well, they do use them. They don't work on certain individuals. I think
lie detectors, that is why they're you can't really use them in court as evidence, right? Because there's so many factors. There's the internal guilt somebody can feel. There is the person that believes they're telling the truth can pass it. Narcissists, you know, there are many. That's why they don't hold up in the court of law. Now, I'm not saying what he's saying isn't true. I mean, he absolutely has the experience. I just find it hard to believe that he has zero idea on who Sebastian Rogers is. That's all. Before joining this conversation.
I think the parents, anybody close to him, take a lie box. If they volunteer, okay, I'll take it. Then, you know, they take it, they pass. Well, it doesn't matter anyway. Yeah, So where you start with autistic kids is the family members, because it's hard to raise an autistic kid. See, Grace, I never met her, but she used to speak at the bail bonds convention for us, and that happened to be that day I was sick. But she's a very good investigator.
So again, if he knows nothing of this case, how does he know that Nancy Grace? But whatever.
So she usually comes up with stuff, you know. But I would say there's a family member or even a neighbor that is just, you know, and they'll, how young is the boy?
He's 15.
Yeah. So without leaving a site, that means somebody, you know, dumped him somewhere, and it's very sad. There's a show on A&E called 48 Hours.
And you know, again, dog is kind of right here. I mean, it's sad, it's scary. I get what he's saying as well, Lisa, but I'd never heard he even spoke on this.
Yeah.
And after 48 hours, 90% of people missing, age, gender, and all that have been killed.
So let's hear that back.
Age, gender, and all that have been 90% after 48 hours.
After 48 hours, 90%. Okay.
Percent of people missing, age, gender, and all that have been killed.
What do you guys think? What do you think of what Dog is saying there? It's kind of it's a little crazy. Has responded back, Sebastian Rogers. Please listen. I told you. Okay. Here, what is this? Okay. Let me play it through this one. I just find it interesting. I don't know. I never heard anything about it till now.
Drones. They've searched waterways. It's insane. I mean, there's volunteers. No trace of him on camera. Allegedly, no dogs have picked up his scent. What gives?
Why do people keep saying no dogs have picked up his scent when we were and literally heard that dogs have picked up his scent? I don't. Is there a reason why that, like, he's being? I don't know. It was put out there and then it was retracted. It was put back out there. It's retracted. Chris Proudfoot showed an entire map that the scent traveled. I don't get it. Was there a scent or was there not?
Well, I can only say by the years of investigating, same thing. Usually a family member has done something. You know, usually there is a dump ground, a trash dump ground nearby, or a lake. Lie detector tests don't work. Well, they do use them. They don't work on certain individuals. I think the parents, anybody close to him, take a lie box. If they volunteer, okay, I'll take it. Then, you know, they take it, they pass. Well, it doesn't matter anyway. Yeah, So where you start with autistic kids is the family members, because it's hard to raise.
Now, don't you think that's where you start with any kid is the family members? It's hard to raise any kid. I kind of wish I wish we could take that out. You know, I had somebody comment to me, and it was true, that they feel it's insulting when people, including myself, say things like he was just diagnosed. A diagnosis is a diagnosis. I responded back. The reason I get mentioned is because, unfortunately, some people hear the word autism and they automatically think he's incapable, right? Like, all of a sudden, with that title, that makes him, you know, less intelligent, less capable, less. And I disagree. I think that's why it's important to note that he was recently diagnosed. Accidental, not parents. Oof.
Raise an autistic kid. It is hard, quadruple hard, than a kid that is not autistic.
That is my sentiments. Parenting is hard, period. But you know, he is spitting basic facts, if you will. It's just curious to me, right? It's just curious to me what does it all mean? Like, where are we at a standstill? You know? But Ellie said it was false. It is in the recording. The dog went to the pond, so how people saying differently is ridiculous, right? But Ellie P is right. Ellie is saying it is false, but again, all right, hold on. Gray Hughes came on here, ironically, the same day Trevor was, and he even stated that he had an entire conversation with Chris, where Chris told him exactly where the dog hit. Now, if I can find which one, I think it's going to be this one. If I could find which one of his videos, actually, I believe it would be this one, Sebastian Rogers, Critical Information. I believe this one would be, I know there is a video where Gray Hughes follows the scent trail that he was told took place. Maybe this is it. We know Gray loves maps. Chris is holding on a false hit. That's the hit Ellie deems false. Chris just loves that it's recorded. Chris isn't like out here screaming about it, though. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, he didn't even, I don't know if I would say he loves it. Maybe it gives him hope. Because if we were saying Seth loved it, it'd be like, well, it gave him hope, you know?
Outside. And look at this. This is Sebastian's bedroom. And right here are bushes and...
I'm sorry. I should have emailed Gray first. Gray, don't attack me, please. I'm giving you credit here. This is Gray Hughes' video. Gray Hughes goes over where the scent was. I know he prefers people ask to use his footage. It kind of just came across. I hope you don't mind us using it. I think it is important to, show what you were told.
Flat. No
midnight contractor that I need.
What they're saying here is accurate.
Where did I just go?
And mulch. Okay, so let's take a look at the surrounding area here. I mean, he easily could have got out and went out the back door, by the way. Sorry for the blurriness here. We'll have to readjust that. Right there.
Thank you, Sandy. I appreciate
Faith is here. He could walk down the hall, went out in the living room, and then through the sunroom and out the back. And apparently dogs tracked
him.
We
go.
That's what people claim, is that dogs tracked him to this area right here where the construction was. All right. Now, I went around and I charted out where here's a creek that goes by there.
I get dizzy when the map moves like that. But so this is what, he's stating. And then he did tell us on here that he spoke to Chris, and Chris actually said it. Chris said, this is the scent. This is the trail they gave us. I don't know why he would lie about that.
There's tons and tons of places where there is water and ponds all over the place here.
So much wooded
area. Law
area.
enforcement set up a staging area right here and are, canvassing the same area that they looked at before.
Look at all the wooded area here. Look at it. I know it doesn't look that big on the screen, but it is huge. It is a lot of wooded area. Thank you so much, Sandy. I really appreciate you. Thank you, True Texan. So he could have went there and someone picked him up. Absolutely. Of course. It could have just been, good ooh, God forbid, but a creeper driving by, they see this young child out in the cold and in the night wandering about. Who knows? It doesn't have to go back to either parents. It just doesn't. It could be so many things.
4, perhaps they missed a small area where Sebastian could have crawled in. Apparently, like as I said earlier, likes to play hide and seek, and went into somewhere and just couldn't get out.
Or it could be a family
So
member.
right now they're looking all around, and I would focus in on like a 5-mile radius here, and really just kind of.
And I'm sure they have, to be honest. So maybe this isn't what I was looking for. I was looking for the actual video where he shows the actual trail that he was told by Chris. Maybe he didn't state it was by Chris. I don't know. Oh, here it is. There, it was literally labeled that.
Video is a combination of 2 videos that I put out before that a lot of people didn't see for some reason or another. The videos regarding Sebastian Rogers and where the scent dog scented, the trail that it took, given to me by Chris Proudfoot, and also the surveillance footage
given to him by Chris Proudfoot, right? So here we have the stepfather stating that there was a dog trail. Put a 1 in the chat if you believe the dogs hit a scent. Put a 2. That, Miss Ella, might not work since I spelled his name wrong. Holy hell. I'm so sorry. Delete. Put a 2 if you don't believe there was a scent. I'm sorry. I won. I believe there was a scent. I don't know why it's being retracted, but I believe there was a scent.
And what those lights were that a reporter claimed were flashlights and people moving around, etc. It turns out it wasn't people moving around at all. It was actually a garbage truck. So it
wasn't people moving. The shadows were not shadowing into shadow boxing. Remember the statement that Sebastian, when in trouble, wanted to go back to White House School, approximately 9 miles away. Close to White House is I-65. There's a huge truck stop. In fact, 2 truck stops. That's scary. Laura Lee, the mods were dropping it. Thank you. Wrong person at wrong time. Yes. Unfortunately, that's what I believe with Summer Wells. I believe my opinion has always been, this is just my speculation when it comes to Summer Wells, which I did just catch on that somebody is now claiming that they have footage that Summer Wells was at their house. It's so bizarre. Such BS is what it is. But anyway, I believed in that case that Candace was off doing some shady dealings. Summer went looking for her mom, and instead some creep saw Summer. That's how I've always felt when it comes to that. Don't know why, it's just what I feel. It clearly stated on dispatch that Max followed the scent to the pond. Right, so why are we now being told otherwise? Why does Seth gather so many to go to that storm-damaged state park that was closed? Why? Why so far? Why there? And then, if you recall Wood Ferry, it is stated that there was a homeless encampment right there. There was homeless people being right there. And the homeless, that the dog actually did hint to death, which happened to be the homeless man that passed away there. Very interesting. Homeless encampment. We've heard Seth say he believes that Sebastian is in a homeless encampment. Everyone's under the assumption that that was the first time he has snuck out. There's a great possibility that wasn't the first time. Well, absolutely. There's a great possibility because we also heard, whether it's true or not, that a neighbor claimed that Sebastian was caught hiding under his vehicle before, right? Then you got Tony Mathis over there, TikTok and Tony, stating things like, well, if you let your child out, they don't have to run away. That's bizarre.
Here are those videos.
So let's follow
right
the
now.
scent really quick.
A reporter named Nick Barris put out some surveillance footage in the Sebastian Rogers case. Actual camera, and they didn't know what to do with it. I mean, it was absolutely shocking. However, they should have realized that when they had the video from the surveillance,
right. Let's follow the scent trail. This is the alleged scent trail.
Up here, I don't know. I mean, maybe that's the light there. That's also the fixed light. So don't really know exactly which one it is, but it's on this house.
Let me pause. It is what KDB is saying. What they said is the track didn't lead to evidence of Sebastian, not that the track wasn't Sebastian. They just didn't find Sebastian using his track. Thank you. And that's sad. That's very unfortunate. TT Tony. Is that when people are saying TT, they're referring to TikTok Tony? TikTok
Two
Tony.
lights that you're seeing
Unfortunately,
are up here on a house. Now let's go up in the air on the street view. And it's right here, the house with a square swimming pool. So there's two lights probably in the front here that you
here's
can see.
Sebastian's home.
And Sebastian Rogers' home is over here. Now there's that one movement that
And this red, if I'm correct, is allegedly the trail.
looks like it's going like this across the screen in the video. So if you go up here, there is a road up here. And apparently it was a garbage truck. That
Anyway, we'll go ahead and link this video down below. You can check it out. You can follow the garbage truck and the scent that was alleged. I happen to believe that there was the scent, like Katie said. It didn't lead to Sebastian, but there was the scent. Did you know there's currently only 2 active Amber Alerts nationwide, Sebastian and Elijah View? I did not know that. That's really sad. What makes an Amber Alert go nationwide? The thing about the cell phone is so many parents have trackers on the cell phones now. What if someone were going to run away? Why would they carry a GPS device with them? Hello, Spudler. You can't tell me that Sebastian never walked the neighborhood with Katie and Chris. Right. Where has Sebastian walked earlier the day going to the restaurant? Could that scent be from earlier or not that night? I'm sure there's a possibility, right? Wonder if anyone working on the garbage trucks are previous or current inmates of the facility Seth worked at. Ooh. He is great at mapping. I do not, just Amber. I personally do not. Thank you so much, AT, for dropping that. So, I don't know, guys. Like I said, this goes back to the fact that there are alleged claims. Again, we are hearing this, not the first time. It is not the first time that we have heard that there were CPS reports against Seth. Is that what the most recent report was against? I know Truth Not Feeling stated similar. And only one that remembers it in early interview, Seth saying that he had a spare self. Yes, people are telling me I made that up, Truth Not Feelings. Thank you. You are not the only one. I recall that as well. I thought he said he did give it to Sebastian. You're saying he stated that he had one, but didn't get a chance to give it to him. And why would that be? Am I also the only one that recalled Seth making a statement that when Sebastian was with Chris and Katie, it was their time. So he did not call and speak to Sebastian during his time with his mother, and then vice versa. Does anybody else remember that? So that means that's saying that Monday through Friday, Seth didn't check in on Sebastian, despite the fact that he is saying that Katie and Chris were incapable, excuse me, of being parents. Put a 1 in the chat if you recall him saying that. We're going to go back and look at all those things. I think they all, I think revisiting things with what we know now will make a huge difference. You guys recall it. Beachy recalls it on Yes, yes, yes. So, I don't know. Again, we have to wonder, right? If this is the truth. Yes, and he was with his mother 20. So out of 26 days out of the month, Seth Rogers allegedly didn't speak to Sebastian. But yet he's out here, every day. So you recall different. You remember him saying he just called to talk to him for a couple minutes after school every day. I recall opposite. What on earth is going on with the DCS report, and whatever happened to the laptop of Seth's that Riley Lively with UCN turned over to the police? Nora, great question. Seth also stated everyone got their electronics and phones back, but he hasn't. He said he'd call on the weekdays, talking a couple minutes after school on weekdays. Is this another case of him saying 2 separate things? When he said he didn't talk to him on weekends, damage control to cover his contact with him. So said he didn't speak to Sebastian on Katie's weekends, but called on the weekdays. Right. Okay. All right. So Seth, interesting. I recall that as well, Kim. That was kind of my response back to this was, well, why would Katie do something bad to prevent him? And I understand is Katie wasn't quite on board with all that. Seth has gotten his electronics back. They had his phone for 12 hours. The only thing they have not gotten back are Sebastian's electronics. And you have Seth out here wanting everybody to know he doesn't have a PlayStation 5. It's a 4. Fundraisers every week. Seth is my suspect number 1. Let's remember, too, the police have not ruled out any of the parents. They haven't ruled them in and they haven't ruled them out. Right. Is that because of what's on the screen here, peace and happiness? I don't know. And Seth is very upset he hasn't gotten Sebastian's electronics back. Back when Cajun Navy was in town, Riley Lively said she offered to fix a laptop that Ellie had never checked, and she found incriminating evidence, so she gave it to the police. I have not heard that. Has anybody else heard this? Denora is saying, yeah, back when Cajun Navy was in town. Wow. Incriminating evidence? The handheld game. Could there be evidence Seth doesn't want them to see on Sebastian's phone? Of course, everything's a possibility. I never heard that either, Richard. That has always bothered me. Has got mad multiple times about not getting Sebastian's electronics back. I wonder if that could be as simple as like he feels that's, you know, maybe I do think that was his bond with Sebastian. I do believe that. Like the gaming and all that. So maybe he just feels that's the closest thing to his son that he has. No one talks about it, but I know Doug just knows about it. Riley posted this to a live TikTok. Let me see if we can find anything. Okay, so all right. Let me put my headphones on. Let's hear this really quick, and then we'll go ahead and wrap this up. If he wants to proper investigation, he needs to be patient with technology. Yeah, and again, I can see that just being a father upset, right? So Seth's response to Riley, let's hear it.
I got a question. Do you think that they might have been double agents? Just asking.
Double agents?
I'm suspicious of everybody. I don't know who I can and can't trust anymore.
I'm with you. And I said that myself, so.
This was 2 months ago. They're all calling that incriminating, for fuck's sake. They got their feelings hurt. And now they are saying nothing but shit about Seth and the volunteers. All right. So rewind us back a little bit.
Watching my language.
I got a question. Do you think that they might have been double agents? Just asking.
I'm suspicious of everybody. I don't know who I can and can't trust anymore.
I'm with you. And I said that myself, so.
2 months ago. This kind of feed into his paranoia. Okay, so a lot of silence going on.
Anybody can print those out, yes.
Double agents, right? What does that mean? No, it's okay, Nora. This is the only thing I found pertaining to that. So important to have Faith living with him because it's his daughter. I don't know. I want my kids with me too. Sometimes.
I'm going to say, yeah.
Sometimes
they
I
sound like
say.
double agents. I said it.
Double
If
agents.
that's the case, then they sound like double agents. I ain't trusting.
Let's remember again that when these professionals come out, they come out for Sebastian. They don't come out for Seth. They don't come out for the Proudfoots. They're there for Sebastian. So how could they be double agents? What does that even mean? Like, what is that? I don't get that.
Nothing. And that's why I said I would only tell certain people where we were when we were out.
So it's like this, Terry. Did I or did I not call you to make sure that you were okay? Sent you text message while everybody was passing out flyers and stuff?
Yes.
I heard that.
Yes.
multiple times, didn't I?
Yes. And told me to, yes. And said just everything. Only thing I ask is this: don't get in trouble and don't get arrested. And I said,
That's a weird statement to make. Don't get in trouble and don't get arrested while you're looking for my child. Okay. Bizarre, but nonetheless, I do feel like they've stepped back from each other. I don't know. I don't pay any attention over here, but it feels that way. This is also the woman that's saying she has evidence sitting in her truck right now.
got my word.
Well, I know that Riley Lively decided to do a video about me, just literally sending her a text message asking her okay, because Skip was scared from the death threat. And so me being the person that I am and want all my volunteers that are helping me to stay safe, she did a thing on me saying it was weird. She thought I had somebody watching her hotel. Who the hell?
Oh, this is interesting. So I never heard this. Hey, Chris, but this is interesting nonetheless, right? Listen to what he's saying here. She felt like Seth has somebody watching her and watching her hotel. Ooh.
Hell does she think she is?
Weird. I don't even know who the hell that is. I don't even weird. I don't even know who the hell that is.
I am and want all my volunteers that are helping me to stay safe.
All my volunteers that are helping me. You should want all the volunteers in general. They're not your volunteers. Again, most people are there for Sebastian. They're not there for you. Me being the person I am, watching her hotel. Yeah, this is very interesting statements we have here.
She did a thing on me saying it was weird. She thought I had somebody watching her hotel. Who the hell does she think she is?
Weird. I don't even know who the hell that is. I don't even know her. I don't even know if I've met her. I don't know her.
So another professional search team that Seth goes and disparages publicly. Right. He sure did. Let's go back to that.
Really sending her a text message. It's like this, Terry. Did I or did I not call you to make sure that you were okay? Sent you text message while everybody was passing out flyers and stuff?
Yes. Yes.
Multiple times, didn't I?
Yes. And told me to, yes. And said just everything. Only thing I ask is this: don't get in trouble and don't get arrested. And I said, got my word.
Well, I know that Riley Lively decided.
Am I correct that Riley Lively is part of the UNC organization that he requested come in?
I'm with you. And I said that myself.
Oh,
so.
hold on. Where is it?
Told you, I'm suspicious of everybody. I don't know who I can and can't trust anymore.
I'm with you. And I said that myself. So
Right, UCN, right. United Cajun Navy. He did say that, Truth. I seen it.
Anybody can print those out. Yes.
Oh, okay. But she still works for United Cajun Navy, no?
Where'd he go?
He did say that, Kimber.
I'm gonna say, yeah, they sound like double agents. I said it. If that's the case, then they sound like double agents. I ain't trusting nothing. And that's why I said I would only tell certain people where we were when we were out.
So it's like this, Terry. Did I or did I not call you to make sure that you were okay? Sent you text message while everybody was passing out flyers and stuff?
Yes. Yes.
Multiple times, didn't I?
Yes. And told me to, yes. And said just everything. Only thing I ask is this: don't get in trouble and don't get arrested. And I said, got my word.
Well, I know that Riley Lively decided to do a video about me, just literally sending her a text message asking her okay, because Skip was scared from the death threat. And so me being the person that I am and want all my volunteers that are helping me to stay safe, she did a thing on me saying it was weird. She thought I had somebody watching her hotel. Who the hell does she think she is?
Weird. I don't even know who the hell that is. I don't even know her. I don't even know if I've met her. I don't know her. Sorry, I don't know that one. That's weird.
I met her once and I didn't like her. So she was like, oh, I've dealt with death threats and I've done many rescues. I was like, really? She's like, yeah, I used to rescue puppy dogs all the time. I was like, wow. Thanks for comparing my kid to a dog.
I did not know that was it ever said.
I don't pass shit out.
Yeah.
I don't pass shit out. That's all you do is pass shit out. But okay.
Wasn't
What
worth
we
it.
did, yeah, we're in it for the right reasons. We're local for one. We know the area too.
It's his dang father. He should be in it for the right reasons.
And this is a missing kid.
Yes.
I would want somebody doing the same for me.
So why is he
I don't even know
disparaging
that.
searchers?
I know her. They said she's creepy. An attention seeker.
So I'm going to show you guys in just a minute, Cheryl. Just wait 1 second. I'm going to show you something.
Lady, I don't know her. Seth, I'm in Murfreesboro. Could you use a four-wheeler or anything to get around to search? I know of a lot of people that mentioned they would loan you off-road vehicles.
So now we're going to go over to here because I found this. Considering Riley Lively claimed to be part of the UNC boots on the ground and that the only UNC members in town were just herself and Skip, and considering Riley made it quite clear on her TikTok that she finds Seth Rogers creepy and suspicious, does that mean that UNC is only working with the Proudfoots? They found him creepy and suspicious. She found him creepy and suspicious. Now, we did hear from somebody else that Seth hit on them and they were uncomfortable with that. Is that what happened here? I don't know much about her. I see your comments. I don't know. But there's a reason part for about 2 weeks before going to Tennessee. Okay. They couldn't grift and pretend to search. Feeling CP doesn't want him found. Definitely believe those were human bite marks on. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, she found him creepy and suspicious. Creepy and suspicious all together. Dipshits. I don't know. What do you guys think? What is this? This is her. This is her. This is like her professionalism. Playing a song behind it.
To your knowledge, have they filed any police reports or reports to the sheriff's department documenting any of these alleged threats?
And then she shows an email with a recording after getting off the phone with said sheriff department. So this is her. This is Riley. Okay. That a horse ranger over there threatened her. She also made video claiming someone was in her hotel room. So she's just odd. She's just okay. So she's like another Tony, Nina, just odd, just an odd person. I see you, Andy. I'm sorry. I just came back to the comments. Seth is most insecure, creepiest, loudmouth, defensive, scared. Ooh, he's running his show to cover up all the real evidence against his low-life ass. Oh my God, I can't believe I said it. You sure said a lot there. Hey, Julie. I think she's shady, to be honest, but there may be something to the computer. I can't find this computer statement. I'm going to get ready to wrap this up. I'm sorry. I'm trying to, Sebastian Rogers, Seth Rogers, computer. There has to be something out there regarding it. I can't find anything about a computer. Let me see. Maybe it's this. There's a lot of negative videos about her. I'll tell you that much. All right. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna put much
that are
value
not
here.
true. And I help stand up for what's right against hateful rhetoric with zero evidence. Now, with any case that gets somewhat of traction.
Oh shit. Someone said at least barbecue knows where her child is. Someone said at least you pay for dinner. Yeah.
The fuck?
Yeah, why do they need a grant if Seth hasn't paid any of his PIs, which he paid one PI a retainer? You haven't paid anybody. Everybody's volunteering their time for you. So who's fucking making out? How much money do you have in that Cash App, Seth?
I mean, these are all valid questions, but I don't know. That doesn't have to do with. I can't find anything with a computer. I see a lot of. Seth Rogers confirms who was at the house when he
It's
arrived.
just Sebastian and his mom that were home at that time.
When I got yes, because when I got there, it was just Katie, and I think Chris's mom was there, but it was just when the incident happened, it was just Katie and Sebastian at the house, from my understanding.
It was just Sebastian and his mom that were home at that time.
The shoulder flinging gets me. The shoulder flinging. These were recent. These were recent allegations, Lacey. It's either live stream Seth and Tony did with Pascal. You mentioned Sebastian had a Chromebook. Yeah, most kids do through school. Or the one with Jennifer Coffendorfer, Tony and Seth. That's the only time I heard about a Chromebook. Okay. I'm going to keep looking, Nora. I think that's very interesting. I mean, we do see here that she said he was creepy. He was, all those things. He bugged her out and, whatever it may be. But I think at the end of the day, everything still is just speculation. I'm curious about it all. I'm curious about these CPS reports. I'm curious about these several females now. If Riley did say that, she felt Seth was inappropriate, creepy, whatever, that she wouldn't be the first female searcher to have said that. Again, she's like a TikTok sleuther, so I think that says a lot as well. I don't know. But I do think a lot of this is curious. Investigators exposes law enforcement.
You gotta be kidding
me.
I'm sorry. Make up your mind. Is Sebastian Rogers a criminal investigation or not? I don't like it. 1 minute it's a criminal investigation, 1 minute it's not. All I know is we gotta find him. Now listen to this. Sebastian Rogers is the 15-year-old that's autistic and vanished in thin air, and many of us think these two got a lot to do with it. Listen to the ladies. One of the private.
Yeah, you guys are wilding out her. All right, so I don't see anything about a laptop just yet, but
She's responsible for this, either through negligence at the bare minimum.
it's so funny because some of the people that support Seth were upset that I said the same thing about Jennifer Soto. But anyway, that was all pertaining to information we should have never known about. I don't know. Patterns. Anyone else has watched Seth this long and doesn't see that? Agreed. I agree. Well, we know he's on pain medication for his shoulder. That actually that was his injuries were documented back in the alleged DVRO paperwork. TikTok is an interesting place there. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. I do appreciate you guys being here with me this morning. I wanted to try to make this quick and short and all of the things. Wrong button here. Wrong button there. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. If you haven't, please hit the thumbs up. I'm going to keep an eye on this. I'm going to look further into this. I am curious what this all means. I'm curious if that is what was in the CPS reports. We did hear that there were reports made over to Katie's house when Sebastian wasn't there. Could it be because Katie made the call on behalf of Sebastian, who was at Seth's? Is that why Seth didn't see Sebastian for all that time period before Sebastian disappeared? Does it all go back to the fact that they wanted Sebastian to go live with Chris? I'm sorry, with Seth, but Katie wasn't really fond of that idea. I don't know, but it's all interesting, and it all does pertain to the beginning and the only facts we know, which is that there's a 15-year-old missing child out here. There is a 15-year-old boy who seemed to have vanished in the middle of thin air. He walked out the door one day and he didn't come back. There are no other real clues, facts right now. It's all speculation. I'm just, what does it mean? I still feel like the only difference set to take place in Sebastian's life was that he was set to go live with Seth. And he didn't want to live with Seth. That much we know. Chris Proudfoot said it live, and Seth did not dispute that. He said they all sat together and they all had a conversation, and Sebastian was not happy at the idea of going to live with Seth and doing online schooling. Seth then responds, okay, Chris, but then I spoke to Sebastian alone, and he did want to live with me. Okay. Yeah, gabapentin is highly misused. It is. I don't believe it is registered. Is it recognized as I don't believe he's on prescribed narcotic. Gabapentin is master. Yeah, I do know from being in recovery myself that a lot of people are arguing that gabapentin should be labeled a narcotic. If it isn't, I'm not quite sure, or whatever. You still shouldn't take it if you're in recovery because it's almost as effective as painkillers. Make sure you all smash. Yeah, please do. 600 in chat, 261 thumbs up. We can get the thumbs up higher. Nor rotten. How do we even know what he's on, Alicia? Has he told us all of this? It won't do much for the dislocated. Yeah, he has a lot of injuries. I don't know, Kika. I don't know if he's really living there. I keep hearing it, but I don't know. It was a clip where Seth made the smart-ass comment about Sebastian being invisible because the host was wanting to accuse Katie Chris after saying there's no evidence he left. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. I appreciate you, like I said, being here. Please hit the thumbs up. I have to go get my car fixed. We are headed down the shore. Do any of you have plans for this weekend? You plan on celebrating, doing your garden, or you just kind of chilling and relaxing? Thank you so much, Beachy. I appreciate that. He needs We don't know what they have prescribed for him. That's what I'm saying, Robert. How would we even know? I thought he said Roxy's. Gabapentin, benzodiazepine, and muscle relaxers. Has he been out here like giving his... Hell, he talks a lot. I'll tell you that. Seth does talk a lot. I'm not, Heather. I'm on the side of Sebastian. I'm glad you asked, though. I'm not on their side. I'm on the side of the truth, the facts, and the main focus, which should be Sebastian Rogers. It's unfortunate that there are sides and that there is even the fact that that has to be stated the way it was stated. Like, why are you on CP and KP's side? You know what I mean? Like, why are there sides? We're talking about a 15-year-old missing child. Why are there sides? Hey, H. Baker. Maybe Chris and Seth work together on taking Sebastian somewhere and they are playing all of us. Wouldn't that be one hell of a turnabout, Sherry? That would absolutely be one hell of a turnabout. I heard last night he wasn't taking, that man's taking meds. You can see it. I don't know. We have to remember Sebastian, in addition to his autism, has chromosome deletion syndrome, which adds into the picture. Absolutely. I'm on the truth side. I'm sure that some of it would appear I'm on Katie's side, though. I just want honesty and decency. Yeah, I just see a lot more red flags in Seth, likely because he talks a lot more than I do in the Proudfoots. Doesn't mean I don't see the concern and overall picture. But what should be in the forefront, again, is Sebastian Rogers. Yeah, I know, Barbara. This is so disappointing. I'm hoping it's not storming when I drive down. I'm trying to beat all the traffic down there. Hey, Ficasser. We actually have a break in the rain right now, and I got to go sit for a few hours while my car gets fixed. It sucks. Anyway, you guys, I really appreciate you. I hope you all have a safe Thursday. Remember, her CPS report and stuff was by teacher. Well, that was back in 2016, Jane. Apparently, there was a more recent one. Allegedly, there was a more recent one. Again, I don't know if it's true. JLR says he has an inside source. We have heard whispers of it being true. I'm very curious if it's true, but the only ones who can tell us for sure if it is true would be Katie Proudfoot or Seth Rogers. And because it pertains to a child that is missing, or pertains to a child in general, it's not quite, frankly, our business. But it is curious. It's, you know, especially with all the talking and finger pointing and directions that Seth is trying to throw everybody. Seth, and especially his PR, Tony. They're certainly trying to keep everybody looking in a certain direction, and ask yourselves why. Happy birthday, Each Baker. My son's birthday is the 1st. Happy birthday. All right, you know how we end this. I appreciate all of you. If you haven't, please hit the thumbs up, and I shall see you back here tomorrow. I am going to go tune into Deets. I hope you all tune in with me. And yeah, we remember this is about Sebastian. On February 26, 2024, an Amber Alert went out for 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers. Sebastian is white, 5'5", 120 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. Sebastian was last seen wearing a black long-sleeve shirt, black sweatpants, and glasses. He has a medical condition that may impair his ability to return safely without assistance. If you have seen Sebastian or have information regarding his whereabouts, please contact the Sumner County Emergency Center or TBI at 1-800-TBI-FIND. Let's take this moment to pray for Sebastian's safe return.